uncertainty and challenges that I'm sure we've all been facing over the last few weeks and months. I think it's almost been a month now. So yeah. I'm going to share my screen with you all so I can get my PowerPoint up. And if anyone has any trouble hearing me at any stage, just tap into the chat box and hopefully Jack can alert me to people not being able to hear me. And I'm fairly new at doing online webinar type stuff, so hopefully we don't lose connection at any stage, and yeah, hopefully we can all find this to be an enjoyable presentation. So I just wanted us to all check in with how we're feeling this evening. So I just invite you to close down your eyes or just lower your gaze. And really just checking in with whatever feeling or mood or perhaps your state of energy, whatever it is in this moment. And really just honouring the time that you've taken this evening to come and learn some strategies of helping you deal with everything that's been going on. And so just using this to really center and become present. And if you notice that there's a particular emotion or feeling that's quite prominent, just trying to label exactly what that emotion or feeling is. Perhaps it is a subtle underlying feeling of worry or anxiety, perhaps a bit of vulnerability or frustration or unease. So just allowing whatever it is that you feel, opening up to it, giving a bit of space. And then letting that emotional feeling go and connecting in with the sense of your breathing, becoming aware of yourself seated or standing. And then once you're ready, opening your eyes or lifting your gaze once more. So I thought we'd just do a little check-in before we get into the webinar this evening. So I think it's pretty clear that we're all experiencing some sort of fear and anxiety in response to the coronavirus at the moment. And today's webinar is really going to be about how do we cultivate a sense of calm in the midst of all the challenges that we're facing at the moment. So just to give you an overview of what we'll be speaking about, we're going to start with the brain and really talk about the science behind fear, anxiety, and uncertainty. And then we'll talk about how anxiety and fear can spread just like the virus. And then I'll speak about 3 mindfulness strategies that we can use to really help to calm our nervous system, to help us cultivate a sense of connection and well-being with ourselves. And I'll speak through these 3 strategies, then we'll have some questions, and then we'll finish with the guided meditation at the end. So the most primal parts of our brain are wired for survival. And so for simplicity, we're going to refer to this part of our brain as our downstairs brain. And our downstairs brain is responsible for the basic processes that keep us alive. And the downstairs brain is really working under the conscious level of our awareness and ticking over to keep us going throughout our day. So it helps our heart to beat, reminds us to breathe, and is really responsible for our body movements and a level of arousal and alertness throughout the day. And as we can see here, the downstairs brain is where our fight, flight, or freeze response is triggered from. And it's where our strong emotions are first felt or expressed. Now, there's a part of the downstairs brain called the amygdala, and we're going to nickname the amygdala Sam. And so Sam's job is to scan our environment for a danger, to alert us to this danger or threat, and then to motivate us to take action in order to protect us from that threat. And so this sense of fear and anxiety is really an adaptive response, and our ancestors needed this response in order to stay alive and to survive. Now, the more recently evolved parts of our brain are called, we'll refer to it as the upstairs brain. You might also hear it referred to as the new brain. And the upstairs brain is responsible for our thinking, our planning, our ability to make decisions. It's also the part of our brain that we use when we're creative, when we're intuitive, when we feel empathy. And it's really when we have this sense of calm and we're able to plan and make decisions. This is coming from our upstairs brain. And in order for our upstairs brain to function efficiently and to plan for the future, it needs accurate information. So it needs a memory from the past, or it needs a sense of certainty in order for us to make plans or make sound decisions. So the problem with the current situation with the coronavirus is it's inherently uncertain. Things seem to be changing day by day, and we're really just not sure when our lives are going to return to normal, and we've never really been faced with something of this sort before. And so we've got a situation where our upstairs brain really can't come online because we're really just shrouded in this sense of uncertainty. And with the downstairs and the upstairs brain, the downstairs brain is really like our first responder. And so it is the first part of our brain to respond. Our upstairs brain, however, is slower. And just so as it takes longer for you to walk from the downstairs part of a building to the upstairs, it takes longer for our upstairs brain to come online and to kick into gear. And so I'm sure in the last few weeks, we've all had an experience of our SAM, our amygdala, on guard. And so we go to the shops and unconsciously our amygdala, our SAM, is scanning our environment for threats. We see empty shelves and we see people stockpiling pasta and toilet paper. And this motivates us to take action, and we might find that we stockpile some food, or we get an extra 24 packet roll of toilet paper to take home. It's really because our SAM has been triggered and activated, and our upstairs brain, not having information about when we might be able to get resources or how long this might carry out for, isn't really able to switch online and to help us make a more better decision or to plan. And so we have a situation where we have fear driven by a downstairs brain. We have this sense of uncertainty and our upstairs brain not being able to come online. And this fear coupled with this uncertainty is really what's driving this feeling of anxiety and worry that I'm sure a lot of us are feeling at the moment. And so I want to stress here that fear is a normal and adaptive response. And usually it's really helpful for us. But anxiety is not, and over the long term, it can really be detrimental to our well-being if we're being driven by this anxiety. And another thing I guess we've probably all noticed at the moment is the sense of the anxiety catching on, just like the virus. And this is due to something called emotional contagion. And so we're social creatures and we learn from one another. So in our childhood, we learn from copying other people's behaviors, and other people mimic each other. In studies, they've shown that people mimic other people's facial expressions and body postures. And it's a really way of us to communicate to other people that we understand how they're feeling. And so people can feel felt, people can know empathy. But in a situation that we've got at the moment when everyone is quite anxious, and I guess there's this more collective feeling of worry and uncertainty, unfortunately it means that this feeling of anxiety and panic that's around can actually spread from person to person. And so it might be that we speak to a family member or a friend on the phone and they're quite anxious, and we end up feeling anxious. We might see something on TV, hear about the economic impact that the coronavirus is having, and we feel anxious. We go on social media and we hear about people losing their jobs and businesses closing. And again, we might feel quite anxious, and this anxiety and panic can really catch on and spread. And another thing that can happen when our upstairs brain isn't able to have enough information to predict properly for the future, we can start getting caught in these worry loops. And so it might be that our brain just starts throwing up all these what ifs. So what if I lose my job? What if I get the coronavirus and can't work? And what if I can't afford to put food on the table for my family? And so we can get caught in these worry loops. The technical name is separation. And so in order for us to make sense of what's going on, really need this information and sense of certainty. So without it, we can get stuck in repetitive and anxious thought loops. And so I guess by now a lot of you are probably thinking that, what can we do? What can we do in the face of this fear and this anxiety, and knowing that our brain is wired in this way for survival? And I think the single most important resource that we have during this time is our attention. And that's exactly what mindfulness is. It's using our attention and paying attention on purpose, with purpose, to the present moment. And by doing that, we can really start to change the relationship we have with anxiety or worry or the uncertainty that we're feeling. And so it's not that we don't feel fear or anxiety, and by being mindful, we're constantly calm and relaxed. It's really by bringing our attention to how we're feeling and understanding it and being with it, then we can use it as a way and go forward with a sense of more purposefulness and presence, and really start to respond to how we're feeling rather than react, bringing it forth into our conscious awareness and understanding, rather than just letting our amygdala and SAM run on this sort of unconscious underlying worry. And so the first of the three mindfulness strategies we can use to help us cultivate a sense of calm and to connect us in with ourselves is the breath. And I think often breath work gets overlooked because it seems so simple, and breathing is something we all do every day. But studies have shown that if we engage in deep belly breathing, so breathing into the lower part of our belly, we can actually lower the level of cortisol in our bloodstream. So our stress hormone can be lowered just by engaging in this deep belly breathing. And this deep belly breath also helps to switch us out of fight, flight, or freeze. So switch us out of our sympathetic nervous system and into our parasympathetic nervous system. So into our rest and relax. And there's a few different ways that we can use this breath work in our day-to-day. So we could do like a square breathing pattern. So breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 4, breathing out for 4, and holding for 4, and continuing that cycle. Or if we really want to help to switch our parasympathetic nervous system on, we can do a longer out breath than in breath. So we can breathe in for 4 seconds and out for 6 seconds. And I think this breath work is really powerful, particularly in those moments when we're really quite caught up or we're feeling a strong emotion and the worry loops have started, and we really just need something to bring us back into our bodies, into the sense of the present moment. I think this breath work, even if we do it for 2 minutes, can really help to calm us down. And so it's a really nice way when we're sort of experiencing those more acute, strong emotions. The second mindfulness strategy we can use is a RAIN meditation. And RAIN is an acronym for recognizing our emotion or feeling, acknowledging or accepting that emotion, investigating what that emotion feels like in the body, and then nourishing ourselves. And being able to recognize and describe our emotional states is really important, because what it does is it enables us to describe and to have a memory of that emotion. And so if we spend time to recognize the emotion, accept it, investigate what it feels like, and nourish ourselves perhaps through breath or self-compassion, the next time we find we're faced with that emotion, our brain has a memory of what we did last time. And so we become better able to recognize the emotions that we're feeling. And then we know ways that we can self-soothe, because our brain has created that neural pathway from the last time that we felt that emotion. So this is also showing that people who are able to describe and label and differentiate different emotional states score higher on resilience and overall well-being. So really being able to describe and better know our own emotional states can really support and help our well-being during these times. And the final meditation strategy or mindfulness strategy we can use is loving kindness. And this is the practice that I'll take you through at the end of the webinar this evening. But loving kindness is an ancient Buddhist technique, and it involves really connecting in with yourself, sending in a sense of love and kindness. And often a mantra is used, such as, may I be happy, may I be safe, may I live with a sense of peace and ease. And then we can also send that sense of love and kindness out to people close to us in our lives, to whole community, and then further out to all beings. And studies have shown that people who engage in a loving kindness meditation, the parts of their brain that are active when they're caught up in worrying or thinking about their own problems, those parts of the brain actually quieten down. And studies have also shown, again, that people who engage in loving kindness meditation, they score higher on measures of well-being, and they also report feeling more socially connected. So in a time where we're all physically distancing from each other and not going out and seeing friends and family, it can be a quite isolating time for a lot of us. So by using a loving kindness meditation, we can help to feel more connected, not only with ourselves, but other people in our friends and family members and loved ones as well. And so with the RAIN meditation and the loving kindness meditation, we can either do these as formal sitting practices at any time during the day that is best for you, or again, they can be used as more on the go or spot meditations. So again, we can use the RAIN meditation and just quickly check in with ourselves, how we're feeling throughout the day, or we can use our loving kindness meditation at any time that we feel like we might need to, just give ourselves a bit more kindness and want to enhance that feeling of connection with other people in our lives. So before we go through the meditation to end this evening, we'll just see if we've got any questions, if anyone's got anything that they want clarified or anything that they wanted to know a bit more about. Feel free to type into the chat box.
Sophie, I really like the idea of the loving kindness meditation helping us feel more connected at this time when we're potentially not. So I think that's a really interesting part to that, which I kind of be interested to as we go through this. I was trying to work out, so this is my question, and now I feel a bit dumb, but I'll ask it anyway, so we'll talk about gratitude. Is gratitude and loving kindness is this the same definition, or is it something different?
No, it's something different. I guess gratitude sort of giving gratitude for things that you have in your life. But I guess loving kindness is more like self-compassion, or it's sort of like a compassionate practice. So it's more about, I guess, you know, being your own best friend and really just, no matter how you're feeling, just supporting and I guess holding yourself. So I think a lot of people talk about, you know, like how would you talk, or what advice would you give to a friend if they came to you with the same problem that you're feeling? Because I think often we can really talk down to ourselves and be very critical. I'm sure during the last few weeks it's sort of like, why do I feel this way? Or if we've reacted or responding in a way, and we can get quite critical. I guess loving kindness is really about offering ourselves this compassion, that we're all suffering, we're all having struggle, and that, you know, it's okay, and that we can be there to support ourselves.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, slightly different to gratitude. But gratitude is also a great practice as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had a comment about the emotional contagion, actually, which was a friend of mine who is a PhD in pure maths. So you could think about how logical he is. He was in the supermarket at the height of this pasta disappearing. And he said, I couldn't believe it. I walked out of the supermarket with so much pasta. He said, I don't eat pasta. And I said, well, I felt compelled to buy pasta during this time.
It's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when you think about it, like, you know, as young children, that's how we learn. And when we interact with kids, that's what we do. You know, we copy and they mimic our behavior, and, you know, it's the exact same thing. And like I said, it's our way of trying to let people know that we're feeling what they're feeling. But in this situation, not helpful. We just end up with all this pasta that we might not ever eat.
The pasta we didn't want. That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't see any other questions coming through at this stage.
Great. All right. Well, if anyone does think of anything, maybe just hold off and typing it in the chat box, because we'll head into our guided meditation now. So again, just like you to close down your eyes or lower your gaze, and really just wriggle around and readjust yourself so that you're in a nice, comfortable position. And you want to feel alert yet relaxed. So if you're seated, having your feet flat on the floor, the spine nice and long. And I invite you to have your palms facing down in this more supported and nourishing gesture or posture. And then just orientating yourself to the space that you're in. So just becoming aware of the air that's around you and any sounds that you can hear. You might notice the distance between yourself and other pieces of furniture in the room. And then drawing your attention onto the body. Noticing the temperature of the air in your skin. Noticing the contact of your body and the seat, the floor beneath you. And then if you notice any areas of tension or tightness in the body, just inviting in a sense of softness, allowing yourself to really relax. let go as much as you can. And noticing your breath, and particularly the rise and fall of your chest with breathing. Noticing the lungs expanding and filling with air as you breathe in. And then deflation of the lungs again as the air leaves the body on the out. And if you notice that the breath is a bit shallow or constricted, you might like just to really try and smooth it out, slow it down. And letting your attention stay centered on the chest. And then becoming aware of your heartbeat. And perhaps it might help to physically place both hands over your heart. And feeling this sense of connection with the heart space. And noticing just by drawing attention to this space, if you feel any sensations here, perhaps like a soft, warm sensation. Or there might be memories or thoughts. So connecting with your heartbeat, with your heart, noticing what comes up. And then as much as you can, consciously sending in a feeling of love. Offering yourself support and kindness. Noticing what it feels like to be sitting here offering love to yourself. And you might like to use a mantra and say to yourself, may I be happy, may I be safe, may I be healthy. Continuing to feel the heart beating, the sense of connection and kindness and love. And I invite you to bring to mind a family member or a close friend or a colleague. Bring this person to mind and then imagine sending the sense of love and connection out to them. Holding an image of this person in your mind and purposefully sending them love. And perhaps again, you'd like to use a mantra, saying to yourself, may you be happy, may you be safe, may you be healthy. Noticing any sensations, or what it feels like to be sending love out to this person. And then imagine extending that feeling of love and kindness to everyone in your community. All the local business owners, everyone in your extended social circle. And extending this further, sending love out to everyone in the city, in the state, in all of Australia. Knowing that we're all suffering on some level. Really offering the sense of love and kindness to everyone in our country, and then further out to everyone in the world. You might even physically be able to feel this energetic sense of love flowing out from you. And then when you're ready, returning your hands to rest on your lap if they're not there already. Becoming aware once more of the breath. Noticing the air coming in and out of the body. And before we finish, just silently thanking yourself for spending time this evening to learn some strategies and to find some way to cultivate a sense of calm in these challenging and uncertain times. And becoming aware of your feet on the floor and the space around you. When you're ready, just gently waking up the body, inviting in some movement. And then when you're ready, you'd like to opening your eyes or lifting your gaze. All right, hopefully everyone is back with us, and I just wanted to finish as well with this quote. So it's from a children's book, and the boy's asking the horse, "What is the bravest thing you've ever said?" And the horse says, "Help." And so just really congratulating all of you for taking some time this evening. It really takes a sense of courage and vulnerability to admit that you might be feeling a bit anxious and worried, and that you want some strategies to help you manage everything that's been going on at the moment. So thank you all of you for being here. Also some really helpful resources. There's a few videos there by a number of different mental health professionals which might be useful for you. Beyond Blue has also created a mental health line for the coronavirus. So if you're feeling like you want someone to talk to, then definitely log on and see more information about that mental health line. Also some really great meditation apps that can help you get a more regular practice if you'd like. There's 3 of them there. And I'll also be running a 4-week group online mindfulness program starting at the first week of May. So if that's something that you think might be useful for you, I'd love to have you join me for that. And we'll be putting the details for that up onto Eventbrite, so you can stay posted. Jack can also send everyone a copy of the slides if you would like to have all those resources and information there to refer back to.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, what we may do, because I can't through Eventbrite send back an email to everybody, we might just post them on our website for a week or so. And if you want to get them off of there, and then we'll take them.
Can we actually, is there a way that we can upload a file to the actual Eventbrite page or something? Thought there maybe was a way we could do that. Anyway, we can.
It may be.
Will you post the video as well?
Video.
The webinar.
This video, the webinar.
Oh, this video, the recording of tonight.
Yeah. We'll have a look. We'll have a look at it first, and then. But no, I think we actually do want to do that at some point. And,
we'll edit out the bad bits, and then we'll put it up.
They're all good bits. There is no bad.
Yeah, but we definitely we can get these slides up fairly quickly, but we will do some stuff around putting some videos up. And I think we'll probably do some more of these type of events.
Yeah, you've been great, Sophie.
Yeah, so Sophie's great. She runs regular sessions. We're running the current ones. She's going to do really cheaply because we're trying to provide value back to everybody. But we'll do some other free ones, and so keep in touch with us and go from there.
Great.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for tuning in.
I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Yes, I was thinking. I hope everyone has a very restful night's sleep.
Yeah, thank you. And so will the 4-week session, I know you just said it will be on Eventbrite, but will it also be loaded on to your, like the Vital Chi website?
Yeah, definitely. We'll keep posted with all the details.
Yeah, that'd be good, because, sometimes tendency to forget things, and then, yeah.
We'll remind you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Nice
Thanks
so much for
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.